volume down.
Good evening, everybody. Broadcasting live from the roof of the Renaissance Center in Detroit, Michigan. Look up. We're by the GM sign. We're waving. Wave back.
Oh my God, I can see my house from here.
This is Culture Vultures. I'm Dirk Belligerent, and with me is my aide-de-camp, the man who pulled me out of that hellhole prison that I was forced to play suicide, Russian roulette, and whoever says that Indiana is the crossroads of America, it's not that nice. Say hello to Mick Hayden.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to our wonderful show today.
Are you still listening to our wonderful show today?
Please come back.
Anyway.
All of one of you.
This is episode 1 of Culture Vultures, the debut for April 4th, 2013. We are on the roof of the Renaissance, and we're going to entertain you this evening, hopefully with some conversation about, well...
pretty much everything and anything that comes to our mind.
You know, I had this whole speech worked out in my mind yesterday. Anyway, I'll tell you what we're not. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about sports. We're not going to talk about cars. We're not going to talk about social issues. What we are going to do is pick over the remains of pop culture around the watering hole. Movies, music, TV, video games, comics, books, and whatever else is on our mind, we will be discussing for the next 2 hours, as we will every Thursday until we, work off our parole arrangement or whatever that is.
Look, Lindsay Lohan, if you're out there, please come bail me out. I love you.
I'm holding out for some real hardcore gangster bling ring type girls.
Oh, so you're going straight for Rihanna.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Anyway. All right, let's kick this show off here. That's right. We are going to be talking about pop culture stuff, nerd culture stuff, from the nerd pop culture perspective. I was warned not to use too many P's until we get some pop filters, and what am I doing? I'm saying nothing but P's. Anyway, well, first of all, let's just discuss this is the what's new and interesting portion of the show. Let's talk about this crap weather we're having.
I prefer to find out, at what point did we realize that Kim Jong-un is secretly Victor Von Doom?
Is he Victor Von Doom?
Pretty much. I mean, the man is sitting there controlling an entire country. They think of him as a glorious leader who controls and knows all and can master every technology known to man. And nobody says anything different because they're too busy being oppressed by his robot slaves.
What? What are you talking about? What newspapers are you reading?
Hey, man.
You know what? That's right. If you're looking for discussion of current events like the nuclear threat that Kim Jong-un, the guy who was not in Team America, what he's going to be talking about, we're not going to be discussing that. Screw your hands, bricks. But anyway, we're not going to be talking about that because the world going up in nuclear fire and ending the lone stronghold of StarCraft players. That's depressing. Let's talk about things that are more currently in the news. Well, actually, not even in the news, just the damn weather. Now, it was sunny today. It was great, okay? But this is the part of the season which I call two-coat days, where you have to wear a winter coat in the morning and then you have to have a lighter coat in the afternoon because it goes from 28 to 55. You can't ride. Well, maybe you can, but I can't.
Hey, man, all weather is lovely weather to me as long as there's not like meteors coming down from the sky.
Oh, yeah.
And John Cusack telling me we're all going to die and him being the only one to survive.
You know, why didn't he just hold a radio over his head saying we're all going to die?
Well, because he's too busy being a master pilotsman and a super ninja and also a perfect dad.
Are we talking about the same John Cusack?
Yes. Because he has such dreamy eyes.
Oh, my God. All right.
He does.
Well, speaking of movies, we got, unfortunately, the news of the day. As I was filling up the show roster of what we'd be talking about possibly this weekend, it looks probably going to push into next week. The first thing, we had a whole bunch of movie trailers I wanted to discuss and some movies and whatnot. But unfortunately, our opening thing is Roger Ebert passed today. If in case you've been too busy playing Farmville or whatever the hot game on Facebook is nowadays. He passed away. He was 70 years old. He died of cancer. And I just saw a thing this morning that he was going to be cutting back his review schedule because his cancer had returned. And he called it a leave of presence, and he was going to still be doing reviews and be doing just a little bit less of them. Now he's going to be doing a whole less of them. But Siskel and Ebert have finally reunited. They got the band back together in movie heaven. I'm being looked at. It's like, wow, Lori.
I'm staring at you like a big old stares at a ceiling fan.
Just gush. And I mean, for me, the man, I can either take Ebert or leave him because I can only consider a movie critic to be only so good. They can only give you a suggestion of what's good, but it's always what's good to them. So everything's a little bit subjective.
Everything is subjective to everybody.
True.
The thing is that, Ebert and Siskel created basically the whole two guys talking about movie format, which basically we're going to be doing. So we'll do that in a little bit more, hopefully. We are the spiritual successors of Siskel and Ebert.
All right. I get to be Siskel.
Why? Because you're the bald one?
Well, no, because I'm the pretty one.
Oh. Well, anyway, the thing is, Ebert had a really interesting career because, he wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, the sequel to Valley of the Dolls for Russ Meyer, and he also wrote Who Killed Bambi, which was supposed to be the Sex Pistols movie, but that never got made. But it's always been one of those little fun trivia bits, it's like, Roger Ebert, the movie guy. He
wrote a Sex Pistols movie?
The movie is going to be called Who Killed Bambi. And it never got made. If you Google up, I'll put it up in the show notes. In fact, I should give out the addresses so you can contact us. But if you look around, there's a whole big story about his involvement with the Sex Pistols, how he met Malcolm McLaren and Johnny Rotten, and it's a very surreal tale because you just know him as, well, the fat guy in the sweater, who was thumbs up, thumbs down, the balcony is closed, but he had this kind of weird, sordid life. But a lot of people know that trivia fact. Here's one that I bet most of you do not know. Back about 30 years ago, he was based in Chicago. He was dating this woman who had a local talk show in Chicago. Anyway, they dated for a while, and the romance obviously didn't go on very long.
Oprah Winfrey?
Well, thank you for stepping on the punchline.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to tell that punchline right about now.
This is why most radio shows don't let the engineer participate, and that's the experiment.
That engineer, no cookie for you.
Did he really date her?
Well, yes. Thanks a lot.
See, you dated Oprah Winfrey?
I would have gone for someone a little bit, I don't know, more glamorous. Maybe Tyra Banks. I mean, a little bit more crazy.
Tyra Banks was like probably 12 back then.
No, just your speed. All right.
No.
That was
anyway. Well, since you've ruined the whole raconteur portion of my show.
Sorry, I was making a joke. I didn't know it was really. Sorry, I didn't know that was really true. I couldn't imagine her dating.
Since you're controlling the volume controls, why don't you control your volume off?
Hey. You know what? I can never picture her dating anything other than Stedman.
Okay, since you already or Gail,
who knows?
Anyway, well, since you
shout out to Harpo.
Since you already jumped ahead and ruined that part, here's where Ebert's contribution is, not just the tangential thing that he dated Oprah. The important part about that is he was the one who suggested that she syndicate the show. Because he was in syndication. I mean, they had started off with sneak previews on PBS. And then Siskel and Ebert, they freed themselves of the corporate monster, which is the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and became, they started syndicating the show, Siskel and Ebert at the Movies. So he told her, it's like, hey girl, since this is Pillow Talk, you should syndicate your show. Kind of like Ryan Gosling would, hey girl. Syndicate your show, and now that's why.
And watch Toy Story.
So he made Oprah Winfrey. That's interesting.
Well, Oprah Winfrey made Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure.
But I mean,
you wonder. It's like is she like throwing stuff around her giant mansion right now? Roger, no.
He was the only one I ever loved.
And Stedman's like, I've heard that before. So anyway, but so the thing about Ebert is, we don't, now that there's so much internet and, two guys with a radio show right now called Culture Vultures, we were going to be talking about movies and stuff like that. It's not the sound of vulture makes. You need to get over to the National Geographic site and
baby, boom, 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 boom. That's the only sound I know, at least from Warner Brothers.
What the hell is that?
There used to be a dopey little vulture and he used to get tricked by Bugs Bunny all the time, but he was pretty much and some of you may actually remember this little guy. I mean, he pretty much looked like a typical little dopey vulture, but he was like ridiculously strong. So that's the only thing I can remember about vultures. That and seeing them massacre a fully set out dinner table that some artist wanted to use as an art piece. It's like she set out a full 5-course banquet in the middle of nowhere, just so the vultures could get at it and see how long it took for them to ravage like a big 30-pound turkey. Just set it out there. Just took pictures. Pretty much it got decimated by about 15 to 20 vultures. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Indiana is a crazy place.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyway, Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, they did a lot. And the thing is that, because there's so many diffused voices of internet criticism, I mean, who is the big critic now? Who's the one everybody goes to? I mean, everybody knows thumbs up, thumbs down, 2 thumbs up. I mean, people say that. It's part of the vernacular, and that's because of Siskel and Ebert. They have that trademark. You cannot say 2 thumbs up without, paying.
Well, you could say 2 snaps up, but you know who said that.
The funny thing is that I was running down the show lineup, and for this segment, it's called Men on Film, and my girlfriend was like, that sounds kind of gay. I go, yeah, remember In Living Color? She goes, oh, I missed the reference. Yeah, thank you, honey. Message. But anyway, but the thing is the power. They can make or break a movie. The funny thing is that there was a movie called Wise Guys. I don't know if you ever saw it. It was Joe Piscopo and Danny DeVito, and I can't remember who directed it. It might have been
so 2 short angry guys.
No, they're not. Well, Piscopo's not short. Jesus, he was like a bodybuilder after a while. But anyway, this movie was panned by everybody. I mean, this movie was like, it was critically destroyed. And this is back when there wasn't internet, there wasn't things. It was basically the critics in the paper, Pauline
pretty much that's all you had to go on, and you had to wait for the next day to find out how good or bad you did.
Yeah, well, it was 1986 it came out. Danny DeVito, Joe Piscopo, Harvey Keitel, Ray Sharkey. It was directed by Brian De Palma. And when you think comedies, you think Brian De Palma. Well, anyway, Wise Guys was this movie that was pretty much critically destroyed, and Siskel and Ebert made a cause out of it. They're like, you've probably heard that this is a bad movie. No, it's a really good movie. You should check it out. You should support it. I mean, it wasn't like a little indie. I mean, this is a major studio movie, but it was just being killed. They differed. I mean, I checked it out. I checked out the movie, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's not, the greatest comedy ever made, but it's a good movie. And it's a good movie that, might have been overlooked if, they hadn't championed it. Now, nowadays, there's so many diverse, sources of stuff. There's so many critics. There's
a Metacritic. There's,
Metacritic is
Rotten Tomato.
But those are just the aggregators. But, but you have the different sites, and even like the film nerd sites. You have Ain't It Cool? You've got HitFix. You've got Screen Rant. You've got Film Drunk. You've got, Film School Rejects. IMDb is not a movie critic site.
They actually have a movie critic section.
Do they? But are they just aggregating reviews from other places?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay. Well, anyway, I don't think they got like a house critic. The guy from IMDb says, Mila Kunis washes my car in my dreams, and also
in the age of bloggers, everybody's a critic.
Well, everybody is a critic, and but the thing is, who are the influential critics?
True. I mean, there's one person that you go to, that if he recommends it, it's going to be good.
Well, for example, in theater, in theater terms, Frank Rich made or broke. Time to open this up. He would make or break a Broadway show, a bad review. I mean, they would open the show and they would wait for the papers, and around 2, 3 in the morning, the papers would roll out, and Frank Rich would determine whether they basically stayed open or not. Siskel and Ebert were really powerful. I mean, when they moved on to their own thing, and I just opened. What do you do?
You need more beer.
I already got a beer. Great, I have to talk for the next 2 hours.
You're going to be talking all right.
Hey, everybody. I love you, man. I really love you, man.
Yeah.
Check out my band.
And I'm sure all the people at home are like, and you think we're going to listen for the next 2 hours?
Well, I think a lot of people probably looked at Rolling Stone too. I mean,
well, yeah, but it's the same thing. Grail Marcus, Lester Bangs, who are the influential critics? But nowadays in movies, you basically find someone who you discover is kind of in tune to what you're into. And, one critic, he's trying to kind of differ a bit, but one guy I typically like, and I find he mirrors what I will think, is Drew McWeeny, who used to be Moriarty on Ain't It Cool News, but before he moved over to HitFix. And some of his stuff has been so scarily like mine. Like when people ask me, well, what'd you think of AI? I used to copy and paste his review and say, this is what I think about AI, because it saves me the typing.
I got stuck at McWeeny.
Well, I'm mostly now in the information age. I'm mostly one of those guys that.
That's why he had a pseudonym on the other site. In fact, most of the people on Ain't It Cool News, their real names are now known. They all have
that would considering the age of information and the fact that people will find out who you are if they really, really want to know.
Well, just as the point is that they have names that require pseudonyms. Says the guy who calls himself Dirk Belligerent and who is working with McHayton. Anyway, part of this is not just going to be us talking, but it's going to be listening to what you have to say to us. Well, not listening, but reading what you say. If you wish to follow us further, if you're still with us, there's several ways. And also, if you just happen to be tuned in to rawradiox.com right now on the TuneIn Radio or on the web, there are several ways you can contact us. Email, Twitter, we have a blog, and we have a Facebook, radio station page. The key thing to remember for all of these things is CV, Charlie Victor, Culture Vulture, Radio 313. It's very easy to remember. CV Radio 313 for Detroit. And basically stick that before or after anything you need to complete an email address. cvradio313@gmail.com is how you can email us. Facebook.com/CVRadio313 is how you reach our fan page. You can like us. Unfortunately, there's not you're not that good, button, but I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg will plug that in just for us. If you wish to check the podcast, if you can catch the show live, a lot of people are probably watching Person of Interest in Elementary right now. But for those of us who need to have that time-shifting DVR capability, then you want to check out cvradio313.blogspot.com. And what's the fourth one? Oh, yeah, our Twitter is at cvradio313. So those are the things. We'll repeat them as many times as we can before the booze really hits in. And anyway, but that's Roger Ebert. He was a Titan, and his voice was silenced in 2006 when cancer basically took his jaw. But it was interesting because what happened is because he had so many recordings between the shows he did and the commentaries he recorded and stuff. Like there's a commentary track on the Citizen Kane, DVD, Blu-ray, that he did. That some company was able to take sound snippets of his actual voice and put it together in this like voice synthesis matrix, so he could type into the computer and it would speak in recordings of his voice.
Doesn't sound like Stephen Hawking.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's better than Stephen Hawking because Stephen Hawking didn't have the good sense to have hundreds of hours of audio recording done before he lost his voice.
Okay.
So what Ebert did is he had this thing, and it sounded mechanical. It didn't have the flow. It didn't have the music or the pitch change, but it worked. And any words that he didn't say, like if he had to say,
like genuflect. Or rotund.
What? What? Why would that word pop into your head?
Exactly.
That's because he is McHayton.
Because
anyway,
eventually, sometimes it's going to pop up. Or my favorite word, vexed.
Vexed?
Yes.
Why is
I'm
vexed?
greatly vexed by my inability to not be able to fly.
Okay.
Therefore, I am vexed.
I am vexed. There's a character on Lost Girl named Vex, with I think one X, like in the term you send. And in Canada, they have an alcoholic beverage called Vex with 2 X's, and that stuff.
I'm gonna have to try that.
That is effed up malt liquor, but it's not malt liquor. Okay, all the coolers and stuff that you get here in America are malt liquor. Okay, you cannot have like it. If you go to Canada, if you get the Bacardi Breezer things, that's got rum in it. If you get the Smirnoff Ice, that has vodka in it. Okay, here it's all malt liquor. I think it has something to do with advertising or whatever. But
that and the fact they don't want to have a market that or a product that might be more appealing to children, so they want to try to separate themselves. I believe over in and most of Europe they have what's called an Alka-Pops.
Well, Alka-Pop's just the whole brand. I mean, the whole flavor, like Four Loko.
But they consider it to be an entire genre of drink.
Four Loko, which is what's the thing that
the death drink?
No. Saturday Night Live called it like America's premier hillbilly and cholo fuel or something.
Hey, if the vatos want to drink
they changed the formula for that though in order to put it back on the market.
You know, the thing that's crazy about that though is why is the government saying you cannot have booze and caffeine in the same thing? You ever have a Kahlua and coffee? Same principle. Coffee, caffeine, booze. Kahlua and coffee is okay.
Irish cream? Okay.
Four Loko, because white trash and cholos drink it, apparently is something that the government must protect us from.
College kids were like overdosing on that stuff.
Well, because like any other thing,
yeah.
Too much of a good thing, hey, why not even more?
It's a start.
Four Loko was started like by four guys that to put this like heavy duty, just get hammered, drink, and get you hyped up at the same time. These four guys that went to college together started the company. They made tens of millions just in the first year they came out off of college students getting hopped up on that stuff. And then
because hey, if you're going to be sitting there studying,
and they wound up having
you're going to need some Four Loko.
Yeah. A couple of kids died from drinking that stuff.
That's because they were weak.
And it's safer than doing meth.
Four Loko, it's Darwin's beverage.
But getting back to a mention about Ebert, there was a recent article that mentioned his top 50 quotes of the movies that he really hated, and one of them kind of struck me. He mentioned that Stargate was a really horrible movie. And I found this particularly amusing because, like everybody, you take critics with a grain of salt. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but some of them you can't predict.
If you're eating them, you take them with a grain of salt and barbecue sauce. But anyway,
barbecue. But anyway, you want to sit there and you go, there's no way he could have predicted that Stargate would spawn off into 3 TV series and about 2 or 3 movies. And in this big juggernaut that filled the void of Star Trek and Star Wars that people are pretty much craving right now. Because right now there's really not much of anything in the way of long-lasting space-borne series. Because everything that we have is pretty much right now disaster movies or variations thereof.
Are we talking about TV or movies or?
Well, TV, primarily TV, because everybody's going to, pretty much accesses TV. I want to say right now, there's no Battlestar Galactica. There's nothing on that deals with space. We're all focused on disasters and apocalypse and us trying to turn a band together.
And the Kardashians.
Which
is both a apocalypse and a tragedy.
Well, actually, there is some sci-fi. I'm looking at the playlist for the show, and down on TV, we're actually a couple things that might actually fill your bill. But yeah, when I sent you when I IM'd you about Ebert's passing, you sent me a link to a hit of 50 worst negative comments that Ebert had. Now, I just kind of skimmed through this thing because I figured I went straight for number 1 because I wanted to see if number 1 was the one I thought it was, and it is, which was his review for North. Okay, and this is was the title of his book, and here's what he wrote about the movie North. I hated this movie. Hated this movie. Hated it. Hated every simpering, stupid, vacant, audience-insulting moment of it. Hated the sensibility that thought anyone would like it. Hated the implied insult for the audience by its belief that anyone would be entertained by it. So tell us how you really feel, Raj. But the thing is, did you see North? This was the movie. It was directed by Rob Reiner. It's 1994. It stars Elijah Wood as a kid whose parents, who are Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, he doesn't like them, and he decides he wants new parents, and he travels the world.
Is that the one where he tries to get divorced from his parents?
Yeah, he gets divorced from his parents, and he has all summer to find new parents. And so he goes to Texas, and Dan Aykroyd and Reba McEntire are Texan parents, and then he goes up.
That was hilarious.
Okay, here's the thing. I saw the movie, and I saw it after I heard how horrible it was. I went to a dollar show, went to the Cinemark and went and Warren, and I said, okay, I got to see this movie. Is this movie as bad as advertised? Yes. But my reaction to it wasn't, oh my God, it's the most horrible thing. It was more like, what the hell were these people thinking? These are not untalented people. This isn't Paul W.S. Anderson making another crappy Resident Evil movie. This isn't Uwe Boll. This is Rob Reiner, who made When Harry Met Sally and Stand By Me.
I can tell you what they were thinking.
He had a lot of good stuff on his resume. It was a talented cast. The writers are people who've done good stuff. It all just went wrong.
I can tell you exactly what he was thinking.
What was he thinking?
He was trying to capitalize on the beginning of Nickelodeon and the idea of kid independence. Because what does a kid want to do more than anything is be independent, be an adult, or be able to make decisions and not have adults sit there and tell you what to do.
How old are we talking about?
At that time, well, yeah, any kid.
It depends on the kid. I mean, if you're 12, you want an Xbox. If you're 13, you want to have sex.
But but during that particular era, it was mostly what, Nintendo, a little bit of Sega.
I don't know.
But the whole idea that kids wanted to be independent, they wanted a voice. I mean, that's why we have the Kids' Choice Awards, which technically don't mean anything. But guess what? It's great press because the kids are the ones who drag the parents to the movies.
You know, I was reading an article in Fast Company the other day. Here's where I get all chin-strokey. Fast Company had a thing about the young rebels who are going to save Hollywood. Okay? And it has Ben Stiller on the cover, and it's all about...
Ben Stiller? Since when is Ben Stiller young?
Because, well, the thing is, he says, like, actually, no, he's not on the cover. Maybe he is. I don't know. I left my iPad at home. But the point of the article was, though, is that it's all YouTube. It's all stuff aimed at 12 to 17-year-olds.
Okay.
Now... So without revealing my age, no, I'm not 12 to 17 years old, and I can't believe that the entire entertainment industry is basically going to be run by 25 to 30-year-olds who are catering to 12 to 17-year-olds.
Okay, then that explains why Annoying Orange is actually or was a show at one point.
You want to know?
Annoying Orange, basically it's a guy filming his mouth moving on an orange and being as annoying as possible. That was a YouTube video series.
You know, the funny thing is, I know what Annoying Orange is. Okay, I have never watched a single Annoying Orange video. But here's the thing: but it's there.
You have the internet. You have some time. You sit your kid in front of it, and he'll watch videos all day as long as you restrict him to whatever family error you have, and you can go, oh, here's my phone. Sit there and be quiet and watch these videos. And they'll watch renditions of Yo Gabba Gabba. They'll watch whatever. And you can distract them at least for 10, 15 minutes. Now, all they're going to sit there and do is go, okay, well, if he can do it, if we can have, leave Britney alone, no, Britney, no. If we can have that, and they're actually famous or semi-famous, and my favorite, the young gentleman who did Chocolate Rain, because that was just beautiful.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was, because you didn't expect that little itty bitty guy to have that such a deep voice.
You know, we're weird. We're jumping ahead, but that YouTube April Fool's thing, is that the guy?
Oh, that had to be the part.
Is that the guy from Bedroom Intruder?
Yes, it is.
Oh God, okay, I thought so. I didn't recognize him without his red bandana.
And for those of you who missed out or who were lucky enough to avoid anything on the net about YouTube or April Fools.
April 1st is not the day to go on the internet.
Exactly. Especially for people who take anything that's being sent to them via email very seriously. We're looking at you, Grandpa. YouTube decided to post a video stating that pretty much they were going to shut down YouTube. That was the end of it. The whole idea of YouTube was one big contest to find the best video in the world. And they were going to shut down and review every single video that has ever been submitted, ever. And of course, the video bloggers blew a gasket.
Hold on. Here's the thing, though. Didn't they say that they would come back after they had chosen a winner in 10 years?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, in 10 years, we will return and crown a new king, a king of video. And we're going, no, I want to see a woman sitting there humming to herself while she's pooping on the toilet.
What?
Because that's entertainment. Oh, you've never seen this?
Hold on, stop. Okay, unless you're talking about Girls on HBO.
No. This is a how should I put this? A very large female of urban descent. Yes, I'm being politically correct. Why I'm doing this, I don't know.
Female of urban descent.
Yes, this is about as PC as you're going to get me. Let me get.
Urban. What does urban descent look like?
It means she was born in a large metropolitan area. Duh.
She's a big black girl, which is pretty damn hilarious. But she's sitting there talking about pooping on the toilet. Pooping on the toilet.
This
is the actual video. And mind you, you go look at how many views this video has.
I don't want to. I don't even want to know the thing exists.
No. The thing is, you don't see anything from her from the shoulders down. But the whole thing is, she's just sitting there doing a little dance while she's taking a poop.
How many times have you watched this?
I've seen it in passing about twice, and that's
just happened to be on in the airport lounge, right?
No, you don't understand when you know when you click on YouTube and you go, okay, what's trending? What's popular?
No, I don't. I go to YouTube looking specifically for something.
I do because every now and again you stumble across stuff like, oh, it's Harlem Shake, and go, what the heck? What are they doing?
You know what? I'll tell you something. You know when I saw Gangnam Style, the whole video, when I actually watched the entire Gangnam Style video, when it was about to reach 1 billion views.
Okay. Have you seen that idiot riding the pistachio in the commercial?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I hate that guy.
When I saw it, I only saw it because somebody did a Gundam version of it.
But, okay,
and seeing that video with people running around with robot heads, that worked for me. I went, okay, this is hilarious.
All right, but here's the thing, though. You know, and this show, I don't know if it's a generational divide, because it's not like I'm afraid of culture. I have a show called Culture Vultures with Dirk Belligerent and McHayton. But, you know, I'm doing a
Yes, I'm going to do that every time.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
Oh, yeah.
No, you are not.
Oh, yeah, brother. I'm going to do it all day.
We got to get a recording of you saying that.
We're gonna be auditioning co-hosts for the role of McHayton. We're gonna need some understudies like Billy Elliot has. Anyway, you know, it's like, why did I even make this list? We should have just said, so what's on your mind, McHayton?
Random, and some stuff.
This actually just dovetails into the Fast Company thing. This one of the light bulb moments for this big, you know, entertainment guy was he took his kids. He had a couple of teenage kids, they're 10 and 12, something like that. And they went to Miami, went to the Fontainebleau Hotel. I guess it's a super ritzy, 10-star, super rich 1%er, kind of place. And he got, I guess there was a boxing match, and he had a big, gigantic flat screen TV on the wall, and the kids totally ignored the big home theater that was there, and they were on their laptops looking at YouTube clips.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Yes. For example, if you guys go on YouTube, look for the Dirk and McHayton Show. You can, get a good look at what we look like and understand why we're on the radio right now.
And why I'm so pretty.
You know what? Here's the thing. I was going to post this. I was posted up, but I didn't want my girlfriend licking the screen. But the photos of that Joe Manganiello guy from who's Alcide on True Blood.
Okay.
And he was in Magic Mike. This guy has an 8-pack. This guy is more ripped than he was before. He's being an absolute dick about it, all right? And anyway,
don't hate, appreciate.
No. Okay.
Are you talking about Channing Tatum?
No, I'm not talking about Channing Tatum. I'm talking about the Joe guy.
Isn't that the wolf guy who flips around on TV?
Oh. He's the werewolf guy. He's the guy who's in love with Suki, but she's with Bill, the mopey, pale English guy pretending to be. That's another topic. Make a note.
Here's the question.
Next week, let's talk about.
We hear about a woman named Suki. You expect her to be, I don't know, about 180, 200, trailer, maybe 2 or 3 kids running around in the background, and missing a little bit of teeth there. No. You look at this woman, and it looks like Ally McBeal. I'm like, no, okay, it's a little itty bitty skinny stick waif of a girl.
What are you?
That could blow away in the wind like. Whew.
Anna Paquin is no.
Fly with the vampires.
What? Anna Paquin is not a skinny girl. No.
She's petite.
No. I mean, she's not exactly, okay, get your smartphone out while I school you up about what's going on.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Boy, to talk about digressions. We're still on the Ebert portion of the show, according to the hit list here.
This is how I get them all the time. It's a constant, steady, subtle troll. And I go, hey, what about A, B, and C? He goes, A, B, and C? How dare you? I am talking about E, F, and G. But A, B, and C have valid points.
Please send your resumes to cbradio313@gmail.com. If you have a voice and have some control, you can be on the radio.
That is a lie, because it's the internet, and nobody has control over the internet.
Well, except for Kim Jong-un, who's going to nuke the internet.
No, that's okay. Anonymous will take care of him.
Yes, I heard about that.
Anonymous is when?
Anonymous is after him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they actually threatened him.
No, now we're into the technology segment of the show. So anyway, okay, since you brought it up and I'm just trying to maintain some control on this show. I can't wait to read the comments tomorrow. It's like, I couldn't hear the show because I was sad and turned off my computer. But anyway, between The Walking Dead, okay, and True Blood, what the hell is the inability to find any damn American Southern actors to play American Southern people? On Walking Dead, Rick Grimes, the sheriff, who's been crazy all this season, was just wrapped up. He's English, okay? David Morrissey, who's the governor, he's English. True Blood, you have Bill Compton, that actor, whatever his name is. He is English. Anna Paquin is from New Zealand. Eric it's okay because he's not playing a Southerner. He's supposed to be a Viking kind of guy.
Okay.
Ryan Quantan, whatever. Anyway, Ryan, who plays Jason, dumbass Stackhouse.
You realize I have no idea who you're talking about.
Jax from Sons of Anarchy. They couldn't even find a freaking biker from the United States to play a biker.
Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah,
he's English. He's
English too.
He was on Undeclared. I was like, isn't that the same guy? This is, but the thing is that Ryan Quantan, he's Australian. So it's like apparently, in addition to importing people to clean the hotels and walk our dogs and be nannies, we need somebody to play our Southerners because there's no Southern actors in here. Oh, and by the way, before I forget,
that's what you're talking about, right? Anna Paquin.
Yeah, it's Anna Paquin. That is not skinny. That is not skinny. Not skinny.
Well, mind you, I've only seen the first episode. That was it. And I was like,
of what?
Of True Blood. Okay. I've seen one episode, and I went.
Well, that's what she looked. She's
great. Another vampire. No, we're done here. No, go away. No.
Every other show is a vampire show on TV now.
Because
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Between Being Human, between True Blood, between
Vampire Diaries,
and what was the other one? There was a lovely little. Great. Now I can't remember.
Twilight?
Oh, darn.
Oh, well, the constant Twilight.
No.
And for the love of God, since when did zombies become sexy? And why are they trying to make zombies sexy? Yes, I'm referring to the wonderful movie called Warm Bodies.
Did you see it?
I saw the trailer and I saw the first 15 minutes and I went, okay, I'm done here.
Really? I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
Because basically it reads like some emo 13-year-old and his blog about why being a zombie sucks because he only has like one friend and his one friend can only say like 3 words and they're mostly grunts, and so they like hang out and they're going
I wonder how many people are sitting at home listening to us right now thinking it's like, maybe that would be better than the conversation you twits are having right now.
Trust me.
And by the way, since God, I was planning on getting here early and just, relaxing into the show. I had everything all worked out. Instead I walk in here, up 28-7 flights of stairs to the roof of the Renaissance Center where we're broadcasting from now live. And
I can see my house from here.
And the problem is like everything I had planned, I just like totally forgot. Like I forgot forgot to mention that coming up later after 10:30, we'll be having a visit from Otter Kubat, who is a Detroit chanteuse. She's in the building here doing a thing at Groovebox Studios, and she's going to class up the joint by coming on down and doing a little bit of talk and a little bit of music to close out the evening. And that's why I'm wearing pants. But let's get back to Roger Ebert, okay? Let's finish up the Roger Ebert thing before we have like nothing done. You know,
Roger Ebert still dead.
Roger Ebert, not a shark.
Anyway, when I was going through the list of negative quotes, so there's a couple things though I was kind of surprised to see. Well, here's another one that he hated. I knew this one, and this was about the brown bunny. Now, have you heard of the brown bunny? This is the movie. Okay, let's just cut to how
Sounds
people know.
dirty.
Here's what people know about the brown bunny.
I'd probably go down.
This is the movie where Chloe Sevigny, from whatever movie she's been in, Boys Don't Cry, she was on Big Love, on screen for real sucks Vince Gallo's dick.
Nice.
This is like one of the vanguard of the artistic porn movies, where they started casting porn stars to have actual real sex. If you want your mind super blown, you need to see a movie called Short Bus. Okay, I think it's Canadian, but
yeah.
No, it's set in New York, and I think it's Canadian because there was this Much Music VJ named Sukyin Lee who was in there, and I used to see her when I was up in Toronto, watching Much Music in the hotel. Anyway, she's like having real sex, okay? Like real, this is going
not like
into that
porn style where
this is
why would you watch the
this
movie?
isn't Skinamax. This is no faking,
But why would you watch a movie to see
so
that?
like
I mean,
Monster.
you can just click on anything on the internet.
Maybe you want a narrative. The whole thing about
look, if you want a narrative, if you want a true narrative for porn, you go see Sex Trek 5: The Wrath of Bob.
What?
That's a true narrative because it's hilarious.
Is that a real movie?
Yes, it is a real movie. Go look it up, and it is freaking ridiculous.
Why would I doubt that it's a real movie? Because this is the guy who was telling us about the woman of urban descent.
How do you sit here going to talking about porn?
Well, you're the one who brought it up.
I didn't bring up porn.
So why would you watch this sort of stuff?
That sounds kind of dirty.
The whole thing was like when there's two things I never understood: the amateur porn thing, okay, and the artistic porn for women where they have a story. Right? Because we need to know
Artistic porn is lame.
No, it's like, yeah, right. We need to understand about the pizza delivery boys' motivations, hopes, and dreams. No. Cross that face! It's like, that's what you're really,
Look, this
that's
is
what
big
you're really
sausage
looking
pizza.
for.
I give you a big sausage. Yes, you like this, yes?
Okay?
No.
And the other thing is amateur porn. Okay? I remember when amateur porn was a big thing. It's like, no, people don't want to see, ridiculously perfect and surgically altered specimens. They want to see hairy bodies and natural, realistic people. Bullshit. Otherwise, we tape and watch ourselves.
You want to know what? People actually do want to see that. They want to see the girl next door. They want to see the guy next door because every now and again you come across
I
incredibly hot
definitely
people.
don't want to see my next door neighbor.
If you have a
the whole thing is-
if you have a cute neighbor, then you want to see the girl next door.
True.
Okay. In general, though, you don't want to see the next girl.
But okay,
seriously, the whole point about pornography. We will get back to the Roger Ebert thing. Please stick with us.
Still bad.
By 11 o'clock,
Roger Ebert to pornography.
We will finish this one item on the show list. The thing is that the whole point about pornography, at least for me, from what I've heard,
I have no idea what you're referring to.
You know what? I should have put the internet is for porn. I gotta be able to get my laptop hooked up here so I could bring up the internet is for porn and from Avenue 2 right now. So anyway, but the whole idea of porn, from what I understand, from what I've heard about, from the kids in the locker room, is that it's the fantasy.
Awesome.
It's the it's like, I'm sorry, but if we all had an Asian girlfriend who likes it in the butt, then we wouldn't need porn, but we don't. Okay, that's where porn comes in. If we had 27 friends who could have like a big
basically it's we all end up like Randy from South Park, where he was deprived from porn for like all of a week, and he pretty much blew a gasket. And the only thing that set him off is Brazilian fart porn.
No. It says once you jerked
Did you
off.
say Brazilian fart porn?
Brazilian fart porn.
No, the killer line from that episode, because it was the grapes of wrath, but with internet. Okay, that was the metaphor they were going for. It's when Randy says, "Well, once you jerk off to two Japanese girls puking in each other's mouths, you can't really go back to Playboy."
I really hope my parents aren't listening.
I know.
So, speaking of Roger Ebert and sucking dick and the brown bunny, this was one of the most notorious things in Ebert's career because he saw it at Cannes, and apparently the movie is actually genuinely terrible. The only reason anyone remembers this movie is because a genuine Hollywood actress, real actress, not like a porn star, moonlighting in legit theater like Sasha Grey does for Steven Soderbergh.
Sasha Grey, I love you. Call me.
Oh, by the way, the girl from the something Dragon Eye or whatever.
You mean the girl with the dragon tattoo?
No. It's called the girl from. It's a horrible little B movie. Sasha Grey's on the cover. She's in the credits and stuff like that. She appears in one scene in an elevator, clothed. She doesn't do anything. It's the most misleading, bait and switch.
She's slowly trying to make that transition, man.
Well, no, she's done legitimate stuff. But anyway, so Chloe Sevigny she blows, Vince Gale. But the thing is, the rest of the movie is basically him just riding a motorcycle across America. No dialogue. It's this horrible, pretentious 70s. There's no point to it. There's no point to it. There's no point to it.
So,
there's no.
At least is the lighting and the vista is it wonderful? Is it like a slice of America?
You know what? This
is the Grand Canyon. This is that.
No, it's this. It was shot on 16 millimeter, blown up to 35. It looks like a cheap John Cassavetes movie from the early 70s. It's grim, it's dirty, it's miserable, and then when you finally get real honest to God Hollywood starlet blowjobs, you're just kind of like feeling bad for everybody, including yourself, especially yourself.
You got paid scale for this?
Nah, I don't know. But anyway, so she goes on to be in Big Love. I'm sure Bill Paxton felt good about having to kiss her. The funny thing about Vincent Gallo, though, is he did a movie called Buffalo 66. With Christina Ricci, which was actually kind of like he wrote and directed it and he stars in it, and that's actually kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's kind of a cool movie. In fact, to be honest with you, if you think about Silver Linings Playbook, it's really kind of spiritually similar to it because it has football and sports fanatic parents and weird love and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
And, oh my God, I just realized Christina Ricci is like a dancer in this thing, and Jennifer Lawrence dances in Silver Linings Playbook. My God, I just made a connection. Hey,
ladies and gentlemen,
since the Chicago Sun
we have a new version of 6 Degrees of Bacon.
So since the Chicago Sun Times needs a film critic, you can reach me. You can reach me at cvradio313@gmail.com. So anyway, back to the Ebert thing and Brown Bunny. His comment on that was, I had a colonoscopy once and they let me watch it on TV. It was more entertaining than the Brown Bunny. There you go. So anyway.
Wow.
And the other stuff.
What was he doing with it?
What?
What was he doing with it?
From what I hear, he was pretty angry later on in life.
That's okay. That's the thing. I mean, I don't want to go off on a political rant here, but the problem is that I'm not going off on a political rant here. Really, I know. I have friends on Facebook.
You've already been on 5 political rants today.
No. Dirk did not write any political rants today.
Okay.
But
thank you.
The thing is that later in his life, and this is what is my other point about these negative reviews. Late in his life, he got really, really angry, and he in profiles like an Esquire show that I'm at peace with this. I don't believe in God. And when I die, I'm going to be gone. It's
so
like, fine.
So
No. Well, no. He's just like he's just your typical garden variety atheist who's like, when I die, I'm gone. Right? Fine, dandy, whatever. But the problem is that he was lashing out, and his Twitter feed became so noxious. I think I unfollowed him because it was just like it's like, okay, I get it. You don't like Sarah Palin, but it's 2010. Why are you still beating on her?
For the same reason people are still blaming Bush for stuff. For the same reason people are still blaming Nixon for stuff because
Who's blaming Nixon for anything?
Trust me.
So I'm going to China. I'm still blaming Nixon.
Hey.
He opened up trade with China. That's where all our jobs went. It's absolutely Nixon's fault. Sorry.
See, and suddenly it got political up in this piece.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, no politics. Ugh, my head hurts.
Well, anyway, toward the end, in fact, I was actually surprised when I saw the story about how he was going to be cutting back on his reviews because they said he did 300 reviews last year. It's like, wow, okay, that's a lot. That's like one a day, almost one a day.
Were that many movies of any note?
Yeah. And see, that's the difference because, as I eventually try to push this thing back to the format we had designed. When we started talking about some movies, I used to be a reviewer for a major media site, and I have a blog and viewing diary called dirkflix.com. And just, watching, 70, 80 movies and writing about them, just like a few paragraphs is a lot, So, I respect it but the thing is, I have a choice of watching what I want to. And this was when I was a DVD reviewer for IGN. This was something that I had a say in what I reviewed.
Okay.
They said, well, here's some stuff. What are you interested in? There's a pick list. I try to get some of the new hot releases, but I reviewed a lot of like B things, and sometimes I wanted to see the B stuff.
Because some of the B stuff was actually pretty good.
No, not necessarily. It was going to be something a little bit different. Like John Cougar did a movie called After Image where he plays like a crime scene photographer. The fact that John Cougar is an actor, and he wasn't bad, but the movie wasn't good. But still, it was something different to watch. But with that in mind, though, it's like I got to choose what I wanted. If you don't get to choose what you want, and your job is to see like everything, including the Adam Sandler movies, okay?
Okay,
no. So this is
waterboard torture.
This is like Amnesty International stuff, right? And that's why I think critics, any critics, typically go off the deep end over any sort of movie that is just a little bit different or a little bit non-formulaic. They lose their minds because it's not an Adam Sandler movie.
Case in point, something like, say, John Dies in the End.
You want to fight over this, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay.
Round one, fight.
It's on the list. Actually, since we're doing the heavy talk, let's skip Trailer Park. Let's just go straight to on film.
Okay.
So, anyway, I've been kind of busy for the last month. I've decided to watch Torchwood: Children of Earth, and I was playing the Tomb Raider game. It was okay. It was okay. A lot better than Miracle Day. Miracle Day was terrible. And for my first exposure to Torchwood, that was starting off.
Okay. Did you before you saw Torchwood? Did you watch any of the Doctor Who that basically explained why?
No, I have not watched any of the Doctor Who.
Okay, all right.
And since then, I've watched like a little bit of. I started watching the new series. I mean, I'm on like the third episode of the Chris Eccleston stuff. The first Doctor. So
then that's the actual good stuff. The rest of it starts to segue into this. Well, actually, everything past Donna. Because Donna was the only one to say, okay, stop right there. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And pull back from torching half of humanity, or half of an alien civilization just to save one guy. Because
the needs of the one outweigh the many.
No, because you have a conscience, you have a responsibility. Sometimes you have to let people go.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that's but beyond the way. So anyway, between that, I was playing the new Tomb Raider game, which if we ever get around to video games, we'll discuss. But anyway, I only saw a few movies last month. So and what I did see, if you want to see the full reviews of these, go over to dirkflix.com. It's DIRKFLIX.com, and that's my viewing library and blog. You can see whether I'll be your replacement for Roger Ebert. Anyway, I saw 3 movies last month, in the month of March. Okay, that's a light month for me. Okay, I saw the Red Dawn remake.
Okay,
did you see that?
I saw part of it, and it pretty much just died on me because it became one of the, just like the original. You realize just how much of a propaganda piece it really was.
Well, what's wrong with that? Come on, it's Team America. America, fuck yeah. Wolverines, come on. How can you miss that?
When you understand that that's what it is. But right now,
that's what it's always been.
No. When you took it as tongue-in-cheek humor, okay, we know
it wasn't meant to be tongue-in-cheek humor,
but it actually turns out to be tongue-in-cheek humor.
No, you just found it funny.
Well, yeah, I pretty much found it funny because they living up to all the little tropes. It's no, Danny, don't come out of the woods. I'm just gonna sit here and tell the big bad guy boss that I'm not gonna get you to come out of the woods so you can be shot along with me.
Oh yeah,
run, Danny, run!
No, I was wondering.
Dad, no.
That's not how it goes.
Dude, that's how it went.
No, it's not how it goes.
We're gonna take revenge for them. We're gonna get your dad out of prison, and it's gonna be awesome because your dad just happens to be the sheriff.
Dad wasn't in prison, man. Dad got shot in the head by the. This is the thing. By the North Korean. No, that's not. That's not
because
precious.
we can't do the Cubans. We can't.
Well, no. Well,
because they're passe. Because
the Cubans couldn't invade Miami. Okay, so
but according to the last one, it was the Cubans and the Russians. Now it's the
because in the 80s that's what the Cold War was. Back in the 80s, the teams were United States versus Russia.
Here's a question: we're in a war with Iran. Why is it not them invading Detroit?
Have you seen the party stars? Oh, that's racist. I'm sorry. I'm bad. Anyway, no.
Bad Dirk. That's
no
cookie for you.
I'm sorry. I have sinned. No, and actually that wasn't even funny. That's just stupid. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, the interesting thing about Red Dawn was that they shot it here in Detroit. Okay. They shot it here in Detroit at 3 or 4 years ago. Then MGM, the studio that was supposed to be putting it out, went bankrupt, which is why that and Cabin in the Woods were held up.
Excellent piece.
Yes, which were held up for a couple of years because they were kind of tied up in the bankruptcy proceedings, which is why suddenly Chris Hemsworth, who was just this kind of hunky unknown star whose biggest credit was being Captain Kirk's father in the beginning of the Star Trek 2009 movie.
Okay,
that was his biggest credit. And then he got these other little things. Well, while these movies are sitting on the shelf, he's become Thor. So after he's become Thor, suddenly Cabin in the Woods comes out, and Avengers comes out, and then Red Dawn comes out.
Okay.
But Chris Hemsworth is not a named star. No one's going to go see the Chris Hemsworth movie, at least not at this stage.
Most males aren't going to go see him, but women,
I don't know. I don't know. Really?
True.
Do you know what we're talking about? You're a woman.
Chris Hemsworth.
You're a woman, right?
Big, cocky, blonde, long hair.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay. But you know who Oprah Winfrey is enough to step on my story.
I really don't. I really don't watch TV and movies that much.
Oh my God!
OMG, Becky.
I do. I watched. No, I mean I've watched a few movies recently, but
name one.
In the last several years.
Name one. What's the last movie you saw?
The James Bond flick. What the heck was the name of it?
Skyfall.
Yeah, Skyfall. I just saw that.
Which had some of the most beautiful lighting I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean the whole Moore scene was just shot perfect.
Roger Deakins.
You have some guy sitting at the bottom of a frozen lake.
Hold on. Don't spoil it because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. What?
By the time you get to that, trust me, you're not missing it. But the whole idea is,
and I know
you got some guy filming this from underneath the ice, seeing Bond swim past, and I'm like, holy crap! How are they doing this in the middle of nowhere? With no lighting, no nothing.
No. I bet it's fake.
Framing it perfect.
I bet it's fake.
No.
Have you seen any of the behind the scenes stuff for Life of Pi?
Yes.
That will blow your mind.
That I know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how they do it and what they were able to transform into an ocean is amazing.
No, true.
But anyway,
so
speaking of Skyfall, that was directed by or the cinematographer was Roger Deakins. This guy has 13 nominations and no wins. Everyone thought that this would be the year he's going to finally win a damn Oscar. What are you showing?
Showing Chris Hemsworth. This guy would be exactly why most women would be going to see him.
Oh yeah, he's hot. He's hot.
This is the whole Ryan Gosling.
I'm not saying he's.
I wish I had time to watch movies, but I just haven't.
Better than Ryan Gosling. But
the last year, I haven't really had time, and I don't really have anybody to sit and watch movies with.
You don't need people to watch movies. It's a solitary environment in the dark. We all die alone. Anyway.
I don't.
Well, anyway, that's where we start paying. Never mind. Just go.
I hadn't started. But anyway, so Red Dawn was shot in Detroit, okay?
Yep.
And then it got tied up in bankruptcy, and then they decided that, wait a minute, we need to be nice to China because they will soon be our overlords, and they're a giant audience. So suddenly the villains were no longer the Chinese. They were the North Koreans, a country that they are starving to death, but they have nukes, all right? And they're going to be a big threat to Japan and stuff like this.
Off.
Well, no, because they can't reach us. It's like, angering, Finland.
Or say
Finland
Turkey.
Turkey's a problem. Turkey's a substantial country. I'm thinking of something really inconsequential, like Indiana.
So if North Korea built a bomb, they wouldn't be able to hit us with one? I think they would.
No. How are you going to get it here?
I would like to see.
They're not going to launch it like everybody else.
Yeah, they don't have any rockets that will go that far. Japan's got a
okay,
problem.
good.
South Korea's got a problem. China's got a problem. We don't have a problem.
India's got a problem. Yeah.
But why would they attack India?
Dude, for the same reason India and Pakistan have been going.
Because it sounds like Indiana, that hellhole. This month's officially the state we hate is Indiana. Indiana, that state you cross through while you're trying to get to someplace else more interesting. So anyway, I just wonder if I still have a warrant out there.
You had a
you
warrant.
do now.
No.
You had a warrant in Indiana for what?
True story.
Yes, let's tell us on the internet where police officers may be actually listening.
Yeah,
and they will be coming to the studio.
This was
Live at the
50.
top
This
of
was
the Renaissance
15.
Hour.
50, yeah, they're like helicopters. Indiana State Police. Anyway, they're gonna drone strike the Ren set. I'll go there. It's like, why is that building on fire? So, anyway, I'm not even gonna tell the story. Screw this. And I have it down. Dogs in Indiana. Not my favorite, right? So anyway. So Red Dawn, they decide the enemies are now going to be North Korea because, why not Albania, right?
Okay.
So they digitally change all the flags and stuff and there's a racist component of this. It's like, so it doesn't matter that you just have these generic yellow devil, villains. You can pick Chinese or North Korean. Who cares? They all look the same, right? Exactly. So anyway, the key thing though is that the movie it's bland. It's inoffensive. It's like it doesn't want to be like America. Fuck yeah, it doesn't want to do that.
Because you gotta understand with the way the world media goes, there's nobody can risk offending someone else without having serious repercussions.
You know who that's offensive to? Me. I'm offended that we can no longer offend anybody.
So you're mad that we can't make other people mad.
I'm not mad. I'm annoyed.
Bro?
I'm not
you
mad.
mad, bro?
No.
You mad, bro?
I'm not bad, bro.
You mad, bro?
But anyway, but the most interesting part for me, to be honest with you, that kept me entertained was trying to guess where did they shoot the scenes, because it's not even supposed to be Detroit. They don't even invade us through Windsor. No, it's supposed
because
to be
nobody wants to invade Detroit.
No, we are. How would you tell? We're standing in for Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
They invade the Pacific Northwest, and apparently Detroit. Stands for
okay, so they bypassed all that radar, they bypassed everything, and we never saw them coming.
They explained during the movie that there was some sort of EMP weapon which knocked off the power grid and disabled our military communications, and that's why they were able to do it.
And none of our foreign bases picked up any of this.
Well, they have the magic, EMP jamming device.
Oh, so they bought it from Snake Plissken.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm just saying yes because I want to move along with this discussion. Well, anyway, yeah. So they shot it in Detroit, but they actually shot most of it in Pontiac. Most of the scenes are in Pontiac. So, anyway, let's see what people are saying on Facebook about this.
Dear God, why? Why? My ears are bleeding from the horribleness of this show.
No. Actually, we do have a listener email that we'll be getting to in a moment from Ronald in South Carolina. He has a pertinent question that we'll be discussing. But holy crap, it's after 10 o'clock already.
Yes, it is.
And we're still on the first topic of 4 pages. We're going to be doing a super marathon show. We're going to be running as long as it takes to get through all this stuff. So tomorrow morning we'll still be here.
Okay.
But anyway, so Red Dawn, it's mediocre. It's just bland. If it's on cable, you can catch it. The second movie I saw, not necessarily in that order, is a movie that I had heard a lot about. This is one of those things that the critics went crazy for. Okay. It's called Killer Joe. Have you heard this? It stars Matthew McConaughey. Shoot, why am I drawing a blank on? Matthew McConaughey, Thomas Hayden Church, Gina Gershon, Juno Temple, and some guy I'm totally drawing a blank on. But anyway, this movie got a lot of notoriety before it came out because it pulled an NC-17 rating, and William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, refused to cut it back to an R rating, and he had the most self-serving, pretentious BS reason about how, if I cut my movie, it'll be like denying what happened in Vietnam, where we had to destroy the country to save the country. To save this movie, I'd have to destroy this movie. Bull. Okay, the movie made it basically notoriety on two sorts of things. One, the first time you see Gina Gershon, it's a close-up of her unclothed, furry crotch. She's set in Texas, white trash. Once again, there's some racial stereotyping for you, where in the middle of the night, a woman will answer the door with no pants on without knowing who's at the door. Because that just happens all the time, right?
Because who's going to knock in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, it's Emil Hirsch. Speed Racer is the main kid. Well, anyway, Emil Hirsch is this guy who's got a gambling debt, and he has this brilliant idea that he can kill his mother and collect her insurance and pay off his gambling debts. So he hires
and nobody's going to be the wiser.
A Dallas police detective played by Matthew McConaughey, the titular killer Joe, to do the dirty work. It is creepy. It is skeevy. And then at the end, it goes irredeemably off the rails. Now, if you've heard anything about this movie other than Gina Gershon's bush shot, you hear about... Is that my beer you're drinking?
Oh, is this yours?
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh, I thought I found a lost soldier.
No, I put it in the fridge to keep it cold.
And that's this. Hey, Communist China. All beer is part of the party beer.
This is not communism.
Yes.
No.
It is now.
We're not talking about Red Dawn anymore, so we're not talking about communism.
Thanks, Obama.
So, anyway, oh man, I wish people could see who's actually talking here. So anyway, the other thing you heard about in this scene is the scene where Gina Gershon simulates fellatio. Okay. Now, unlike Chloe Sevigny, she's not really sucking anything, but she is really sucking a chicken leg. Okay? Gina Gershon, super hot. Gina Gershon from Bound and from Showgirls, sucking a chicken bone. That's going to be hot. No, it's not hot, okay? Because at this point, she's been savagely beaten, and it's the most degrading, and it's not like, the fun beating and degrading stuff that, we usually look for in our entertainment. No, this is sick. Okay, and it serves no purpose. And there's a scene earlier where Emil gets beat all to hell, and it just runs on and on. We get the point. Show the guy getting kicked a couple times. Show him staggering home with a bloody face. Get the point. Okay. What Friedkin does is if Alfred Hitchcock showed the knife blade entering Janet Leigh's body over and over and over. Okay. If you look at, it's one of those things they teach you in film school and editing that, if you look at it, you never see a blade touch a body. It's all inference. It's all cuts. It's all just blood spraying. It's, it's inferred. Whereas Friedkin goes explicit and it's repellent. Because, and it doesn't go anywhere. And the story is just crazy, and so it's just like, skip it. All right. So, Red Dawn is a miss. It's mediocre. Killer Joe is crap. Now comes John dies at the end.
Which I found to be the most wonderful film. Sorry.
Okay. So
unique film.
Okay. You sell me on the movie and I'll tell you why it didn't work for me.
The movie was based off a comic horror novel that was written by a gentleman, Jason Pargin, who decided to publish under the name of David Wong. Basically, he wants to tell this tale of how that we're all screwed, or that there's some alien entity out to get us. But he does this in such a way that makes you think, okay, is this actually real, or is it just some crazed imagination of a drugged out loser? What's going on here? And you sit there and watch this film, and mind you, the way they're going about telling this, they're not bouncing back and forth between the timeline. It's just
they're totally jumping back and forth in the timeline.
At what point?
The whole movie. Okay, let me set the stage for the listeners, okay? The movie opens up with this bit where a narrator explains about how you've just cut off this guy's head in the backyard, but you've broke your axe handle. And so you go to the hardware store and you replace the handle, and then the dead body comes back again and you break the blade, and you have to get that replaced at the hardware store. And then the body comes, after you've buried it, the body comes back and it's stitched together. And this has nothing to do with anything else in the movie whatsoever. Okay, it's this really kind of cool, this is going to be kind of wild and weird, Evil Dead 2
because the whole thing is, when you're doing something that's based off a comic, you can either show all of it and all of the weird.
Okay, this is my number one peeve. Okay, whether we're talking about Lord of the Rings or The Passion of the Christ, you cannot require people to have read the source material for your movie. You cannot. I'm sorry. If you've read the book,
But the whole thing is, how do you get the word out to somebody, say at Comic Con, which a lot of people actually do show a lot of the stuff at. You want to sit there and get this word of mouth, because word of mouth is the way you get the nerds interested, and the nerds get everyone else interested, because they're going,
no, they don't.
Why is Ted in accounting ranting on about this comic? Hey, wasn't there a movie about that same thing? I'm going to go see the movie because I don't want to bother reading.
Here's where I prove you wrong. How many people have actually read the Walking Dead graphic novels and versus how many watch the show?
I'm raising my hand here.
Okay, but you're not the general public.
True.
Okay, I'm nerdier than the general public. I've not read any of the comics. I did not read any of the Sin City comics. I tried to read Lord of the Rings. I could not stand it. Okay, I gave up after 175 pages. I have not read The Hobbit. I have not read the source. The only books I have ever read, the only movies recently that I've read the source material for was I read the Hunger Games trilogy. I've actually read those, and I read the first Harry Potter book.
Okay, so you read the stuff that was made for young adults.
Because I'm a slow reader. Okay, I need to join the Book of the Decade Club where they send me a book a month. I mean, let's put it this way:
in large text.
The Hunger, yes, and phonetically spelled out with pictures for most of the thing. Banana plus cow equals Katniss. Okay, so that's my fundamental problem. The last book I had read was when I read the first Harry Potter before the first movie came out. Now, in the first movie, one of the crucial beats is when during the Quidditch match, they think that Professor Snape is trying to screw up Harry and knock him off his broom. Okay. If you watch the movie cold, you think that Snape is the villain and that he is trying to hurt Harry. And that's what Hermione and Ron think. If you've read the book, you know that eventually it'll be revealed that he was actually trying to save Harry from the force that was trying to knock him off.
Okay.
That was when I decided I was not going to read any more of the books, because I did not want to have to go in there. I don't need to go to the movie to see what I've imagined already.
Okay, then how does it tie into John Dies in the End?
Because your defense of the movie is being based on Comic-Con, which Scott Pilgrim has shown doesn't do a damn thing for you.
Oh, please.
Okay,
yeah.
and also that that it requires this nerd base. Okay, and this is
So then how do you get it was out to people?
No, and here's you make a good movie. Make a good movie. When I reviewed John Does It Dan, if you go to dirkflix.com, dirkflix.com, and read my review for John Dies at the End, I could not summarize the movie because it is so random. It's not that it's a issue of I don't want to spoil the story, but it just that it's crazy. I mean, it's about, alien drugs called soy sauce that are allowing people to, see dreams in the future. And then there's like a giant spider, and then there's like dust, and then there's like another dimension. And then Clancy Brown is this magician. And it's like, I just listed a whole bunch of stuff that happens in the movie.
So, and from your description, what people are thinking, they're thinking, so this is basically Hunter S. Thompson meets Buckaroo Banzai?
No, because actually I was watching a bit of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I was on cable the other night, and I watched a bit of this, and I'm thinking two things. One, this is nuts. And two, without a wide-angle lens, Terry Gilliam doesn't have a career. But the other thing I was noticing about it was that just during the movie, I get what you're talking about. How do you do random? But the thing is, like with Evil Dead or with what was the other?
The new Evil Dead or the old one?
I haven't seen the new one yet.
The new one is not out yet, but it is. They're going back. They're going back to the old ways. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be vicious.
Well, the Red Band trailer.
Hopefully, they're not going to be cutting away from anything.
Oh, did you see the Red Band trailer?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where she's cutting the tongue with the utility knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you start to cringe at a movie and going,
isn't that the idea?
Well, yes and no. To a point. I mean, there's some people who get off on the whole hostile idea of a movie. They want a movie that's going to be brutal. They want it to be gory as possible because they want you to cringe. They want you to grab the person next to you and go, please protect me from whatever, because that's something that could possibly happen.
Okay, no. Well, let's get you into a discussion of the whole psychology of horror movies. You want to be scared. You want to be thrilled. You want to jump into the arms of the person who you're with, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is that then you get into the whole torture porn sort of stuff. And in Lori's ears perk up like porn. Did I hear about porn?
And this is how we always seg back into porn.
But everything.
If you guys are going into
leads
this,
back
I'm
to
stealing one of Sean's beers.
That's what they're for.
So anyway, the whole point though is that with this whole torture porn thing, like Saw, I've not seen any of the Saw movies. I didn't see any of the Hostel movies.
Neither did I.
Because I don't want to see people. Okay, monsters, like a movie like Feast. Okay, the first one, not the other one.
Which is a wonderful piece.
Yeah.
Of everything that should go on in a horror movie, and says screw you tropes.
Well, yeah, but it's also got that whole Joe Bob, beast, blood, boobs, trio,
Exactly.
the 3 Bs. So, but the thing is though, is that, I grew up on the original Friday the 13th, the original Freddy Krueger, the slasher movies, Halloween, Terror Train, the whole Jamie Lee Curtis, before she went legit, catalog. And with all those movies, stuff like that, it's this, this is stuff that can't happen. And I guess with the Saw movies, it's all about the most ridiculous, Rube Goldberg sort of thing that's going on. Oh, great. Hold on a second. I got to take this call. Talk about your movie.
And you sit there and you watch this movie, and you realize that no matter what's going on, no matter how weird things are getting,
what's our room number?
They can get even weirder and weirder for you.
We're on the air right now.
And
okay, thanks.
You want to sit back and go, okay, when are the wheels going to fall off this? And then you realize the wheels never fell off because there were no wheels to begin with.
What are you talking about, John? That's at the end?
Yeah.
The wheels never get on this thing.
That's what I just said.
There's
no wheels on it because guess what? It's a new ride to hell. But guess what? You're going to be going down fighting the whole way. I love it.
The thing is about the movie is that there are moments where like something funny and weird and random happens. When John dies in the middle. Spoiler,
Well, you pretty much get that from...
Well, no, here's the thing. And this is, the greatest sin. The movie is called John Dies at the End. John does not die at the end. John is alive at the end. He dies in the middle. Why he's not dead at the end is, semi-explained. But... the thing is, there's some, like when he tells the guy to buy a hot dog and he talks into it like a phone, okay?
Because the guy needs something to rationalize.
Because talking to your dead friend on a hot dog is rational.
You see a guy walking down the street with a hot dog in his hand, you think, oh, he's eating a hot dog.
Okay. Since you read the comic, though.
No, actually I didn't.
You did not read the comic. No. I thought you were coming at because you read the comic and that's what made the movie was good.
No. The reason I saw this cold... Actually, matter of fact, the only reason I saw this movie was in passing there was I want to say 15-second trailer that was posted to...
That's the other thing. There was no legitimate trailer for this sort of thing.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. There was no full-length trailer because there was just a little burst.
What's that? What are we doing here?
Songs on since your guests are here.
Well, I thought we were just going to bring them in and make them something. Are we going to put some songs on to cover what we're setting up?
Yeah.
Actually,
so
I think we need to take a quick break real quick. So...
are these... I don't know what you have in your
start with 2931. It should be 3 songs in a row. It should be that and 15 seconds and 15 minutes. And
there's Birthday Cake, Holy Calamity.
No, keep going.
Well, I already put them in deck A and deck B because you had them numbered. So now I'm just blowing your shit.
Go with number one.
I didn't realize they were in a deck A and deck B sort of situation.
There's a deck A and deck B situation. What the heck is Birthday Cake and Holy Calamity? And Sahara Hot Night.
Yeah, I want Garfunkel and Oates, Christy McCall, and Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman in a submarine sandwich?
No.
All right, here we go with that then.
Okay, we're going to be, our musical guest, Audrey Kubat, is going to be coming back here. We're going to play a few songs at the moment while we kind of regroup and try to figure out where this all went wrong. Seriously, it's like we have 7-8 segments with a whole bunch of stuff in each one. We've done 2 things.
You have the biggest show outline I've ever seen.
Well, thank you very much. That's why the ladies always come to my yard, because I got the biggest show outline.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Throw on.
In this song, we're playing the same woman 2 years apart. I'm 29.
And I'm 31. This song is called 2931.
For the first time in my life, I see it clearly. I realize the power of being a woman. 29 years old and time's on my side. I'm in my prime. I've hit my stride. I've got so much charisma and so many options. It's nice to always have my pick. There's nobody left. I'm all alone. I'm at the top of my game. Possibilities are endless, and I just feel really pretty. I'm holding out for someone who meets my standards. Won't settle for anything less than perfect. I know what I want, and I can have it. I'm surrounded by love and peace. There's nobody left. I'm all alone.
Why the fuck did I wait? What's wrong with me? In 2 short years, I'm gonna be 33. Who the hell will want me then? My ovaries are shrinking. I'm disgusting, and everyone feels bad for me. And I never get invited to dinner parties anymore.
Things unfold when they're supposed to, cause everything happens for a reason. It'll happen for me when I'm not even looking. He'll just appear, and I'll just know, and he'll love me forever without any work. Who needs to try when things are meant to be? There's nobody left! I'm all alone!
You're such a fucking idiot! You think you're so special because people tell you that now. But that'll stop and be replaced with looks and pity.
Life complete. The world is a buffet of love. Love.
Oh, what? You think biological reality doesn't apply to you and your adorable cocoon of agelessness? Well, it does. While you're just waiting around and focusing on you, guess what? You're gonna miss your fucking window!
Everything happens for a reason. You know I truly believe that.
Yeah, you said that before.
Oh my god, it does though. Everything happens for a reason.
What about the Haitian earthquake or cellulite on skinny women?
Just say, hey universe, I'm ready. It'll happen when you least expect it.
Well, I don't expect it at all now, so I guess it's right around the corner.
Maybe you're putting out the wrong vibe. Maybe you're closed off to love. Let me tell you a secret. It's called The Secret.
Here's another secret. You're an asshole.
Your negativity is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The reason things go well for me is because of positivity.
Well, and positive fertility always begins to atrophy when infantile fantasy eclipses true reality.
It never once occurred to me that things won't work out perfectly. When God closes a door, you see, He opens a window.
You realize that's a smaller opening, right? You used to be able to walk out the front door, and now you have to climb out some slightly ajar window somewhere, possibly falling like 5 stories to your death. That is not an upgrade. And you know what else? There's nobody left! I'm all alone! I fucking hate you! You're such an arrogant cunt!
Can't love someone else
So
who you love. You're
stupid!
Can't love someone else. Cause life is good.
7 times in 7 days I've sat and wished my life away. I know the greyness comes and goes, but the sun don't shine and the snow don't snow. There's Susie Ann with her tits and curls, where mediocrity excels. For those vicious boys and their boring girls, you know it makes me sick, but it's a bozo's world. Then there's always the cash, selling your soul for some trash, smiling at people that you cannot stand. You're in demand, your 15 minutes start now. City banker looks sorry, the heartless heart, the chinless chin, and you'd spill your beans for just a pint of gin. How you got so holy and became so thin. In Sunday papers every week, the silly words you love to speak, the tacky photos and the phony smiles. Well, it's a bozo's world and you're a bozo's child. Then there's always the cash, selling your soul for some trash, smiling at people that you cannot stand. You're in demand, your 15 minutes start now. Then there's always the fame, photographs now and again, people who saw you on blankety blank or in the bank. Your 15 minutes start
How you doing? Okay, that was Kirsty MacColl with 15 Minutes from her album Kite. And before that was the internet song duo of Garfunkel and Oates doing a song called 2931. The funny thing about that, we were talking earlier about, stuff that's on the internet, is that, they have a bunch of videos. They have a bunch of songs. I have not watched any of them. I watched this one several times, but I have no curiosity in anything else they do. It's just really perverse. But anyway.
Well, the thing is, you find some of the most interesting and strangest bands out there. And actually, one of them that I found completely by accident, a lovely gentleman who actually takes other YouTube videos, cuts them into pieces. I mean, it'll be a video on just an air horn.
What?
And just how loud an air horn gets. Trust me on this. Trust me on this.
I don't have to trust you on anything.
But he takes
there will be a reckoning for how this show has gone.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. Uh-huh. But he takes all of these videos, pieces them together, and turns them into fusion jazz, and it's beautiful. The guy's name is Cutman, K-U-T-I-M-A-N. And his videos are just awesome.
Send me a link. I'll throw it in the show notes on the blog.
Great.
Which will be really super short. In fact, I was dreading that I was going to put up the podcast and have to spend all day putting up the 400 links about the things we talked about. We're going to have 3 things that we talked about.
You keep it short at the beginning and then you expand from there.
Uh-huh. Anyway, joining us here in the studio right now is Audra Kubat, who's in town. And, this is our debut show. This is episode number 1. And I actually wasn't planning on having any guests in, and though we do want guests. If you're out there listening, you are in the Detroit area, and you are a musician. But actually, I want to move away from just the whole band thing. I want to see if you're a filmmaker, if you are a burlesque artist, if you are something different. Please contact us at cvradio313@gmail.com or the Facebook and all the other stuff. We'll recap all these things when we're done with our guests. But even though I intended to keep the guest out for a while, I was fortunate enough to discover that you were going to be here today on top of the Renaissance. We're broadcasting from the top of the Renaissance Center, by the way. So, since you were playing at the Renaissance today and decided to come on up to the roof, I said, hey, what the heck? You're going to class up the place, and as you can see, I am wearing pants. So, anyway, say hello to the audience, Audra.
Hello, audience.
Anyway, along with, why don't you introduce your posse? I mean, you already have an entourage.
Oh my gosh. Studio Steve is to my right, and he is working at Rust Belt, and we're working on a song together right now from my new album, soon to be released. And then across from me is my manager, Sterling, who is here. There's a smattering of other folks.
Okay. Good talk. And who's that lurking outside?
That is my co-owner of the studio, Ricky Rocks. He just floated in.
He literally floated in. Nice. So anyway, what are you doing down here at the Renaissance Center tonight? What brings you into town that we are able to snag you and class up the joint?
I was at GBS Studios on the 5th floor.
Of the Renaissance Center?
Yeah, of the Renaissance Center, at the Russell Industrial Center inside the Renaissance Center. It's a singer-songwriter night, and they're featuring some wonderful performers.
Okay.
So they let me play.
Did you win? Was there a prize?
There was no prize.
Did anybody hit the button and turn their chair around and say they want you?
No, only in their minds.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so what's this new record you're doing? What are you up to? Sell us the dream. Sell us the Audra Kubat experience.
Well, I've been playing a lot of music and writing a lot of music for the last maybe 5 or 6 years, and haven't recorded anything.
Okay, when was your last record?
I think 2006.
Oh wow.
2007, and so it's been a while. But I write all the time. And a lot of times I lose the songs because I just write them and I don't, or I just sing them and I don't write them. Anyway. Okay. So I'm always writing. Anyway, so now I put some songs together and I'm going to record them. Okay. And I'm going to put them out.
Is this going to be, now this will be your 6th album, right?
Yes.
Okay, is this going to be, how is this going to compare to what you've done before? Is this when you finally get into that dubstep gangster rap thing you're always talking to me about?
Yeah, there are a couple tracks.
Are you?
You know.
Are you going to be doing that? Are you going to be including that diss track you did against Lil Wayne? that sent him in an epileptic stroke. I mean, seriously, you dissed him so hard. Listen, she seems shy.
I think that's banned in 50 countries or something.
Yeah,
are there even 50 countries?
But this is the internet. There are no.
Actually.
There are no borders. So anyway, yeah. I mean,
New Durkastania.
But listen, next time you're at the swap meet, why don't you pick up the mixtape that's got Audra's diss track of Lil Wayne. I mean, it made him have a seizure.
And that is why he's now called Little CZ.
But anyway, so
I don't know if I can.
She did a rap. She knows how to. She's a really good rapper.
Is she?
She's never done it live or anywhere.
Street beats.
We got to make her do it.
Okay,
Maybe we can make her do it on this debut show.
This is gonna. Well, in our Deep Thoughts musical quiz, there is a question that might actually lead into this. Maybe we're getting a little sneak preview of that there. So anyway, the new material. You're starting to do some stuff. You're recording at Rust Belt.
Yes.
What is it? How would you describe it?
I guess very honest, personal songs put to melodies that help support them and sort of help alike the meanings.
But set to block rock and beats that you can battle rap over, right? Okay.
And yeah. And
would you consider it more folksy or ambient?
I guess folk. There's a lot of the songs that are on guitar are born out of guitar.
Mm-hmm. Are you augmenting with any other instrumentation?
I am. Yeah, given the opportunity, when I can get a chance to layer music, I play lots of different instruments, so I have lots of ideas of what I would want to do or could do.
Any beatboxing? Get that fat boy thing going.
You'll have to just buy the record.
Yeah. When is this slated to when are you trying to get it done?
In the fall.
Of what year?
Of 2013. Are you kidding me? It's my year.
No,
it's my favorite year.
Well, no, I mean, after I did my last CD in 2001, I was planning on going to the studio and getting a record out the following summer, and there have been 12 summers since then.
Well, 13, maybe 13's your lucky number 2.
Well, here's the hoping. But anyway, would you like to? I see you brought your guitar.
I did.
I told you to bring your turntables and your drum machine, but if you're going to be a rebel, anyway.
Okay.
Why don't you do a song for us?
Okay, I'll do a song.
Why don't you bring some talent to this show for a change?
Okay, let's see. This song is a totally new song, and I'm going to play it right now. No, I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play the song that I know.
All right, that'll be great.
This is a recording.
I saw you were singing about the war. Your words like tiny hammers hit me deep inside my soul. Your voice rang out an ancient call, a tender morning rain, and the sun burned right behind your eyes that day. I may be waiting all my life to see you here in my arms, but I won't shed no tears, because I'd rather be alone than be wrong. Oh, September, please remember me. I can't wait to see your golden crown. Oh, September, won't you come back soon and bring my dear sweet love home again? Over and through the years, we've all come and gone. We've shared laughter, we've shared fears. Oh, but in each moment, it seems so clear that I was made for you, and you were made for me, my dear. I may be waiting all my life to see you here in my arms, but I won't shed no tears, sweet love home again.
But when it comes out on record, you're going to have that part where Jay-Z comes and goes, yeah, Beyonce, right?
Actually, no, he's probably not going to play on it.
That was beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next jewel.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're welcome to sit outside now.
What's that?
Get her to rap.
No, I'm not rapping.
Yeah, you should.
I'm not.
Never done it. You're so good at it. People
So there will be a Dead Mouse mix up here.
A Dead Mouse remix?
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that.
That'll be super awesome. And according to viewer mail that we're getting comments, that's sounding good on the internet.
Oh.
Oh, Sue Summers, Sue Static has wrote in. She goes, well, I'm still listening. Oh, that's awful sweet of her.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we still have one listener.
No, we have another one. We have at least 2 listeners, though. Somebody did say they had to go to bed. But they had like an 8:30 bedtime. They're like, I'm not sure if I can make it up that long ago. One word, meth.
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
But anyway, so this is going to be...
Not endorse.
You don't have to endorse what we're doing. Believe me, when you listen, if you download and listen to the podcast, you're gonna be like, I wish I'd known this was going on before I came in and associated myself with this.
What did I step into?
Oh my God!
She should be a regular.
I endorse all of it, most of it.
Come back once a month and chit chat with you.
Oh my gosh!
Come back once a month. It's like, and now a part of the show that involves actual talent. So anyway, I sent you a list. Now the thing is that every interview show, first of all, did you look at the questions? Do you actually have?
I did.
Okay.
I did look at the questions.
Are you game to do this?
I am game.
Okay.
To do this.
Everybody who does an interview show is like, so how'd you guys get together? How long have you been playing? What was the first band you saw? Blah blah blah. Okay. We don't want to do that. On Culture Vultures with Dirk McHayton and Dirk and McHayton. Oh my God, the second beer is really
Dirk McHayton.
Dirk McHayton
now joined to become Dirk McHayton.
It's like Master Blaster. Who's the top? Oh dear. So anyway.
Well, I'm not going to go there.
Well, neither am I. I would do anything for love, but I will not do that.
A few more beers and he will go there.
Okay. Anyway, so I decided that what we need to do is we need to have a different kind of questions. So this will be a chance, and we're going to start off with Audra.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, since we've already made news that she's a battle rapper and that she made little Wheezy, now little what'd you say? What'd you call him? See, here we go. That's her beatboxing. It's not the black guy beatboxing. It's Audra Kubat. This is going to show up in Real Detroit next week. In that column, it's like heard around town. Audra Kubat beatboxing. Eminem's. You'll sing the hook on the next Eminem joint. You'll be like Rihanna and Pink.
More likely ICP. Joe's a big fan of her.
Okay.
Jay.
You're talking about the guys who talk about magnets and what do they really do?
How do they work?
No ICP.
The thing is funny though is that last year at the Rock Poetry Festival, I was killing time while she was setting up, and Audra performed last year, and I made a joke about how she was sitting in with ICP, and I heard back from the grapevine somebody was deeply offended that I was saying that you'd be with ICP and stuff like this, and now here we are.
The Joe, he came to this open mic that I ran about 12 years ago, and he'd just hang out, and I didn't know who he was at all. He was just like, "Oh, I'm Joe," yeah, that's it.
All right, so let's see.
I'm sorry if you're offended out there.
No, they're offended at me. Imagine that, but they're like, how dare you say that, talk about ICP in the presence of such a fine woman. It's like, well, God, it's the Erotic Poetry Festival. You host that damn thing. You see how you do. See what you say. You grab for anything, no matter how ridiculous. So anyway, the first question is kind of like a realistic question. So this is easy. This is what you get on the other stations, all right? When did you realize you had enough aptitude at music to become a creator, not just a player?
Yeah, let's see. Well, I feel like I started by being a creator, and then I learned to play music so that I could have something to create over.
Okay.
So I don't know when I thought that. I guess from the beginning when I started playing, or when I started writing.
So you just started, basically you just like one day you started writing. What prompted you to
I guess just wanting to express my ideas and
why did you do that
things
instead
out.
of like chainsaw art or robbing people and saying this is why I did this?
It felt natural to express my thoughts through words. I mean, I was actually I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a painter and a drawer. I drew a lot, and I would go to this open mic that they had a lot of poetry, and I'd just draw and draw and draw, and then I started to write more over my drawings in a way.
Okay, hold on a second.
And
this raises the question. You went to an open mic to draw.
Yeah.
Did you just go up on stage and draw in front of people like Bob Roberts guy or whatever who
it
Happy
was a coffee
Trees?
shop where other people were doing open mics and reading poetry, and I would just be sitting having coffee and drawing.
Okay, so and
then one
that's
day
the environment you came in.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know if you just went to the open mic Monday.
I always wanted to sing though. Like my whole life, I would go down to the river by my parents' house and I would sing "My Country 'Tis of Thee" really loud, and it was terrible. But I wanted to sing so bad, and I would just sing it out loud, and so I always wanted to sing. I love the feeling of it. I love the breathing and just the way it feels after.
Wow. Because I was about to say, it's like with the whole open mic thing and the drawing, I'm thinking it'd be like going to the Comedy Castle for Monday night and saying, this is how I overhaul a transmission. Ching, ching, ching. It's like, are you going to tell some jokes? Nope, this is how I express myself.
And someone out there would find that avant-garde enough to go, you know what?
She needs a federal grant.
Yes. This is a work of art. This needs to be in the Louvre.
Okay, so you wanted to be an artist. Yeah. All right, because there's a question later about if you could do something else. So,
okay,
you have a choice right now. You can switch, and you can be good at it. Do you keep doing music, or do you become an artist?
I would keep doing music.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I couldn't do one. I mean, it's not like a fair question because I'm better at music.
You're on a show called Culture Vultures, and you're looking for fair questions.
It's basically, I love art so much that I would do it anyway, but I'm not as good at it as I am, I think, in music. I think music has always come really naturally.
But what if you're equally talented? Not how you are, how you could be, for the purposes of this hypothetical question.
I play music.
You could be a great artist, or you can be a great musician. Okay.
It's a healthy thing to do, too.
Okay, there you go.
But it made some kind of noise over here.
All right, no, that's no problem. Okay, next question.
Okay.
If you could sing or play like anybody, who would it be and why?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. Why?
So you would give up your sight just to be able to play better?
That has nothing to do.
Well, no, play I think that I love soul music, and I feel like my music is soulful, and I think that there's a voice in me that I haven't actually sort of expressed yet, and it's like if I could, if it would be like through some kind of another person, or it would be like
so trapped inside you is a blind black man.
Okay.
Okay, no. We can call a priest for you after the show, so if there's a problem there.
No, we can leave him in there,
Oh, awesome. Okay, what song do you wish you'd ever written and why?
I couldn't think of a good answer for this song.
Okay. Just kidding. This is not an original question. I heard somebody say in an interview, like, why would you do this? And the guy answered, happy birthday for the royalties.
That's a pretty good answer. So I would probably say Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because it's so lovely and it's timeless kind of, and it just brings a certain memory to me when I hear it. That's really pure.
Before you took off in your house and crushed a witch with it.
Right, I know, and and everything came to life in color, and there was a mission.
Okay,
for me it would be My Little Sunshine. Because every parent sings it to their kid at some point in time.
Mine didn't. That's why I'm sad.
Yes. If you can get that sort of cross culture demographic.
I don't know where
We're taking you off that apple flavored beer.
Yes, no more apple flavored beer for me. It's a little bit strong.
All right, this is related to the last question. Is there any specific lyric or verse, some sort of turn of phrase that you find, help yourself? that you find particularly clever or brilliant or insightful or emotional, something that you wish you'd written? Is there like some sort of line that you're just like, my God, that's like such a cool turn of phrase, I wish I'd done that?
No, not particularly.
Okay. Is songwriting easy or hard for you?
I think it comes pretty easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like go mining for it. It just basically falls into your lap.
Yeah, I tend to write songs every day, and they just come to me. Most of them I don't write down or record or anything. They're just sort of gone. Usually they're my best songs, I think, in a way.
Okay.
Somehow I can't just figure out there's the little recorder and you just push record, but maybe it's just meant to be that way.
Okay. Are you a words or a music first person?
Both.
Okay, so simultaneously then.
Yeah, I guess a lot of times I'll be maybe playing something musically and then just start to, it invokes a certain feeling, and then I'll just start to sing about that feeling, and then suddenly there's a melody. It's just coming right then.
Okay.
With the words.
Good answer. Oh, by the way, we're not scoring this, so there's
I'm sorry I missed them. I had to pass.
No, there's no problem.
Maybe I'll think of one by the end, though.
When you're driving home.
It's probably the answer my friend is blowing in the wind.
That's where you can just send
the answer is blowing in the wind.
So since the songs come fairly well to you, but it's like, what's like the fastest song you've ever written? The one just like came in.
That's actually written down.
That you could play again.
That I could play again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. Garden.
Okay. Was that like an instant thing or? Whatever?
Yeah, I just was sitting in the backyard of my parents' house, and there's rolling hills, and I was just sitting there, and I just started to write the words of things I was seeing. I just started writing lines about things around me, and then it just kind of came out all in that one 20-minute sitting down there, and just the whole thing.
We have an email comment already on the Culture Vultures page on Facebook. They want to hear you sing a bit of "My Country 'Tis of Thee." Has it improved any?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, want to give it a shot? Just do it a cappella if you don't know the music.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I see.
Hey, there you go. Instant request on the internet. This is technology in the 21st century. Okay. On the other hand, though, do you have any songs that have been unfinished forever? It's the song that you cannot just get that last line that just can't put a nail into it.
Yeah, I have a couple of those, and they just sort of sit around, and I play them to try to remember them every maybe 5 months or 6 months. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that really great song. And I try to remember it.
How long's it been? What's the holdup? How long? We're talking 5 years, 6 years?
Sometimes you find you're just writing about the same kind of things, and that there isn't another song, there isn't another subject right now, and so you just I kind of try to I'll have these songs on hold that are just there's some great chorus. It's just oh, that's great, but I don't have the situation. It hasn't either happened to me, or I haven't seen it happen to somebody else.
Okay. This is related to the thing about we're talking about being an artist. If you could switch to another style or genre of music, regardless of whether you had any competence in it, what would it be?
It would definitely be dance music.
Dance music.
Yeah.
What kind of dance music? Are you talking techno dance or pop stuff?
Kind of.
So you'd end up being like Pitbull?
I think it would be, there would definitely be some kind of, maybe house music, but more, it's almost, it doesn't really matter exactly the kind of sound, just music that makes people dance.
Okay.
Because my music is the complete opposite of music that makes people dance. It's a very listener orientated kind of music. You sit down, you listen to it, or, and it's I really love to dance. It's one of my, actually, if I could be another kind of artist, I would be a dancer.
Really?
Because I just love movement, and I think I'm gifted somehow in
this raises
moving.
The question. No, this raises a question.
So I
though.
want to make music that dance.
You like to dance.
Mm-hmm.
You would like to do dance music. Why don't you try to integrate some sort of dance elements, at least on a song or two, or have somebody do a remix or something?
Well, I have this side project that I've been doing for a little while that is it's all beats that I made up and created, and I put my voice through sort of a distortion thing, and it's really weird, and I cut and paste it, and it's like, then I put like some, because I play African drums.
Okay.
So I put some other stuff on it, and it's like, it sounds like dance music, really. I just haven't, I haven't done anything with it. I don't know.
Is this...
It sounds like a Portishead. It's actually really good.
What does it sound like?
It's basic, pretty much kind of like more of a slightly ambient dance thing, like a Portishead vibe.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, there's like literally 10 or 12 songs. It's like almost like a finished record. She just doesn't talk about it.
This is the first I've heard of this, and
it's really good.
You know what? After you were kind enough to agree to come into our our little soiree shindig hellhole on the roof of the Rensen.
That's pretty.
You know what? I was trying to find like the old files. Remember, I did your website, stunningamazon.com.
I do remember.
When was that? Was that like 10 years ago?
I don't know. Don't
99. So it was in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good point.
Okay.
Time is going backwards for me.
Okay. It's like the Benjamin Button thing.
Well, I'm stabilized at whatever I am at right now.
What age are you claiming to be right now?
I'm not claiming an age.
Okay, so far we've learned that you want to do dance mix. Why don't you do an ambient dance mix of My Country 'Tis of Thee?
I don't think I can do that right this moment.
Not now, but just in general.
I don't know.
Put it on the to-do list.
It was like a child. It's a childish song in a way that you only sing when you're a kid.
Okay. And this one, what we got here?
I guess I'm patriotic.
Okay.
Dead air.
I was just gonna say that.
No, it's like
We got more viewer questions.
More viewer questions.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
All right.
Viewer would like to know. Sorry, the
Viewer,
listener.
this is radio.
Yes, you've got a face for radio. The listener would like to know, if you weren't doing music or anything artsy for that matter, what would you do for a job?
I'd be a teacher.
Okay. What would you teach?
High school, elementary.
Theater? Is that artistic
preschool?
still, though?
Yeah, it's very artistic.
Oh, but
I mean, it's like
you said if it wasn't artistic at all, or they said.
Well, no, I mean, if you weren't a performing artist, what would you do?
Oh yeah,
You would teach the performing arts.
I teach the performing arts. Yes.
That is cheating.
Yeah. Maybe I'd like to sail or fly in one of those things. The gliders. I don't want to jump out of a plane. I would just like to sort of feel like I'm flying.
Okay.
Hang glider.
Okay.
I'd be a hang glider.
Or parasailing, perhaps?
Yeah.
All right, now we're coming into the controversial question portion of the show. This is when there was some discussion about how this is going to go. So let's see if you can blaze the trail here. Awards, fame, or money. That is critical acclaim, general popularity, or financial riches. Pick two of those, okay? And explain why you didn't pick the third one.
Better repeat that one.
Okay. Yes. You have a choice of awards, critical acclaim,
Right.
fame, general popularity, everyone knows who you are and cheers for you, or money, which is money. Okay? Those are the three things you have to choose from.
Okay.
Acclaim, popularity, and money.
And then explain why I don't want the third one.
Pick two and explain why you didn't pick the third one.
Okay. I would...
Which is the one that...
I would take money, because that's good to have. And... what was the second one? The
second one was fame.
Fame or critical acclaim.
Yep.
It's about the same, though, right?
No.
It's not the same.
fame. Like people knowing me
Right.
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so you want the money and the fame. You do not want the critical acclaim.
Right. Why?
So
you have to say why?
If you want to.
Oh,
No, actually explain this one. Because when we were discussing the question, the person I was talking to, you know who I'm talking about. The person I was talking to said that you would not answer this question. And you answered it exactly the way I would.
Well, yeah, I think that it's more important. I'd rather have, like, the common man, kind of the common person, like, know my music or enjoy it, and then, have a little money than have, like, a handful of people, like,
Basically,
say, you're great, or...
Because you can't eat a trophy, right?
Because you can't eat a trophy.
You can't
Unless
eat a
it's
trophy.
chocolate. And it's easy.
This is exactly the same thing. So you know who you are out there.
Choice Awards. That's the only time you'll actually see.
Is this fun? Are people enjoying themselves?
I guess so. I mean, we're actually getting comments, which means like the three people who are on FaceSpace right now on Culture Vultures Radio. If you want to search on Facebook, if you are just tuning in late, this is Culture Vultures with Dirk Willigren and McHayton. I am Dirk, and the other guy is McHayton.
Hey, everybody.
All right, now here's another one, and this is one. And since you've been a sport, okay? Hasn't she been a sport? Let's everybody give her a round of applause for being a sport. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Her work is not done yet, though. This was one of my earliest questions I wrote down. You are wrathful music god. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You are the wrathful music god. End somebody's career for their sins against music and explain why.
Oh yeah, that one's... I don't know. How about the music thief?
Who's the music thief?
I don't know. Isn't that just a bunch of people?
No.
No,
an artist.
So say the music pirates.
There's some
People think I'm crazy. This is so crazy. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Basically, is there one art?
Restate that.
The question is,
understand.
what musical artist do you wish was not inflicting sound on your fans who adore you and have made you rich?
I guess I think anybody that wants to play music should be, encouraged. It shouldn't be just for like people that are so great at it in a way. I mean, as far as like just playing music.
So Nickelback and Justin Bieber can continue on.
Most people, I'm not gonna. I don't know.
Listen, if you want to diss Justin Bieber, it's not going to actually hurt him. Okay, he's doing fine.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so you.
I just don't have that kind of,
Unfortunately, the person I'm discussing with is that's we were discussing what answers you would give, and that's the answer she said that you would give. Okay, then let's flip it on the other side. Let's be positive. You are merciful, God of music. Okay, name someone who you think has been unfairly overlooked. Someone that you think is like, wow, why aren't they bigger?
I don't know. Like most of my people I know in the city that are playing music.
Okay. But you don't want to name anybody because if you forget somebody who's like, you didn't mention me, don't you want me to be famous?
Exactly. I mean, there's always one person that you have to say.
Blair, David Blair.
Okay.
Detroit's own adopted son.
All right, a couple more here. This is the last second one I added in. This is back to the goofy one. Questions. What would your rock band or Guitar Hero band name be?
Well, I don't have one, but if I had one, it would be Kadra Abad. It's my name dyslexified.
Okay.
Kadra Abad.
You can do a tour with Kaja Gugu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the show just died. And finally, and since you've been such a good sport, you will be. I'm going to say on the air that you will be getting a year supply of Rice-A-Roni San Francisco treat. In actuality, you will not be getting Rice-A-Roni. But when your entry in the Encyclopedia of Music is written, what is the most important thing you want said or remembered about you and your music?
It's honest.
And rocked the house and made Lil Wayne have a seizure.
I don't know. I guess it's up for debate.
Battle rapper.
I'm not going to deny it.
She was honest about battle rapping. Okay. Good. Excellent. Well, would you like to grace us with another little quick tune before we wrap things up?
Sure.
Since I have 4 pages of stuff that we did here. we're running to the end of the time.
God, how does this get to... Guitars get out of tune.
It's warm in here. It's getting warm.
Yeah. From the other...
Because it's hot. Because you're here. You're making it hot with your battle raps.
Hansel is so hot right now.
So what are you going to play, Roddy?
While she's tuning up, I'd like to encourage everybody listening on Raw Radio X right now who have been kind enough to give us a radio home. So we're not radio homeless. You can check us out on Facebook. Search for Culture Vultures Radio on Facebook. CVR Radio. Oh, CV Radio 313 at Facebook. On Twitter. At Gmail for the email.
Seriously.
You'll figure it out. But find us on Facebook. Google us. About ready?
Yeah, I'm having a... Hold on a second.
You know, a competent and experienced host would find something to do right now.
No, all I can think of is you're sitting there watching a wonderful episode of Hell on Wheels, and it cuts to this wonderful lady just sitting there, say in front of a saloon, playing a guitar, and that's I can see Audrey actually being introduced to the world at large. Is hey,
Vlad, Audra.
I mean,
Audrey.
Audra. I apologize.
You can hit him if you want.
Yes,
Johnny D.
Believe me, I want to. Well, anyway, it's okay. As we're winding things down here, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Next week, we'll try to get to the rest of the things that we didn't get to this week. Well,
there's always going to be more stuff.
Our show prep is done for next week, and then we can just add to the pile.
Next week, more like next year.
There will be a discussion. there will be a meeting or two. Maybe we need to do 2 shows a week.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, we all set, Audra?
Oh, yes.
Kick it. What are we going to hear now?
This is called A Moon.
This is an older or a new one?
It's a new one.
So this will be coming on the upcoming record.
I don't know.
Start bootlegging, people.
He was raised on the open plains, had no one to stake his claim, and they shoved him round like he was dirt. Oh, he hurt, but it did not fade. He made plans in the cold, and one fine day he will rise up singing some old forgotten tune. He come back convinced you he captured a moon. For something to call his own. Some say he is a fool. He rambles round, nothing for him there. But I say he is a king, follows his heart into the rain. And one fine day he will rise up singing some old forgotten tune. He'll come back convinced you he captured a moon. Oh, last I saw him, he looked weak. He was half asleep, one almost gone. And then he just disappeared from sight, just fall down into the night. Fine day he will rise up singing some old forgotten tune. He'll come back convinced you he captured the moon. It was just for you.
Very good. Sorry, we had a little bit of a cough in between. Our engineer, when she's not blowing. Well, anyway, any final things you'd like to share with the internet audience?
Thank you for listening. I hope you listen again.
Well, I tell you what, when you if we're still on the air, if we haven't wised up as to the error of our ways and our bad life choices,
and if Howard Stone doesn't come out and put a hit on you,
just because my hair is so cool. All right. Anyway, but why don't you come on back and talk to us when you got something to plug?
Okay.
You were on the guest list.
Thank you.
Anyway,
thank you.
We're gonna roll our way. We're gonna wrap this thing up. You got any final thoughts while we get our exit music going here, Sean?
Nope. Hey, right now. I'm pretty much happy. I mean, we have such wonderful hosts, and we have.
You're one of the hosts. Praise yourself. I am so awesome. That's what makes you so
I am.
All right. Anyway,
we're sitting here on Raw Radio X, and we just wanted to say this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful studio that we're in.
Well, as we wrap things up, thanks a lot for those of you who wrote it out all the way. We hope to hear you next week, next Thursday at 9 p.m. We will be back, and we will finish talking about the stuff we didn't talk about today. We will be done talking about Roger Ebert, and maybe we can not talk about porn. Culture Vultures is a production of Dirk Omnimedia. It's created and produced by Peter Shorn. It is written and performed by Sean McQuitty and Peter Shorn. Engineered tonight by Lori Hildebrand. We are broadcasting from the roof of the Renaissance Center in Detroit, Michigan, right next to the GMTV sign. Theme music is by Def Ref. And I'd like to leave you with 3 pieces of wise advice. The Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See a doctor. Get rid of it. Thanks a lot for listening. This has been Culture Vultures on Raw Radio X. We are now going to think about the error of our ways. Everybody be safe out there. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.